What is going on, Lunatic Fringe? Guys, I hope that you're excited about what you've seen out of the chart for the last couple of days, while at the same time remembering there's a lot of people who are not in a good position because they bought at a higher price. They're feeling the pressure of it. They're going to be looking to sell at some point, and that's fine because attracting new investors, getting new people in here, that's what it's all about to begin with. Providing them with value is the other piece to this equation. And guess what? We got a proposal up finally that's going to do something. And I think that people are going to find it incredibly exciting because it'll be kind of a reality hitting them in the face. So if you like this type of content, make sure you hit the like button on the way in and let's get after it. Okay, before we talk about that, let's talk about this one. How high can Terra Classic price go in the next 90 days? You might have seen this article coming out from CoinGate because guess what? You start to see pumps, you start to see movement in Luna Classic, and when that happens, that attracts people who know that, you know, if you throw this out here, it's going to get you eyes. So it's clickbait. When I looked at it, what I found was in 90 days, what they're saying is it can go to 301. I'll summarize it for you. And the reason for that is because they're using AI to look at the current trend for a short period of time and then to analyze how it could go during that period of time. But the bull run portion is coming up, I think, a lot quicker than over the next 90 days. So with that being the case, it's most likely that what we see is something quite a bit higher. We'll get into that in a little bit when we go look at the charts. Okay, so before we get started on Terra Casino, I gotta point out, if you look up here at the top, you'll see Web 3.0 Casino burns for Terra. So now buyback and burns are happening on the Terra token, and that is the token that runs the Terraport.finance ecosystem. So if you guys remember here, we have a stake going and we've got our rewards, and this is the one that we're talking about. So what they're going to do right now is they're going to focus on burning those. Also, you can play Merge Up if you haven't already. Come check it out. Spin and Go Challenge from February 17th to March 16th. You're going to want to sign up. You're going to want to get ready. You're going to want to spin and go during that period of time because that's up to 40,000 euros being given away over the next 30 days. And from February 17 to February 23, Multiplier Rush 4 is giving away 6,000. So sign up, check it out today. Now, before we get back to Terraport, the Commonwealth. There is an idea in cooperation with ChatGPT, and the question is, how can produced solar power be economically efficiently combined with a decentralized blockchain like Terra Classic? And it's using AI to try to figure that out. So if you're interested, I would certainly go check it out. But now let's get into the big, okay? Happy Caddy Crypto has put out the proposal finally. So we now have the final on-chain signaling proposal to burn 1.86 billion USTC held in the LFG via chain upgrade. Now, this is where it's going to get interesting. And by the way, as you've seen so far, everybody has voted yes. Remember, the purpose and the power behind this, the purpose for LFG to be holding the USTC was to protect the price peg. Sole purpose, sole function, sole reason for it to exist. There should not be, if they are no longer protecting it, they should not have access to it. And that's the logic here that we're using. So vote your conscience on that one. I think everybody should be voting. I can't imagine, but I think everybody should be voting 100% yes on this. That is my opinion. You, of course, your own opinion. Find who aligns with your principles and validate with those. But we finally got this. And for those of you that are neophytes, new to the game, something like that, what we're talking about is this wallet right here. It's the #2 overall wallet for USTC. It currently holds 1.847 billion LFG. Now, once that is done, the next up will be working on this one right here. This is an abandoned wallet from Terraform Labs, and then this abandoned wallet from Terraform Labs down here as well. Both of them will do a chain upgrade for each and every one of these to get them out of here. And what that will do is reduce the supply exponentially. The signaling proposal for the 1.847, that's already out of the totals, out of the circulating supply. That's only in the total supply, but you will see the total supply go way down in one fell swoop, because 1.8 being pulled out of there moves it down to about 6 billion, which is a far cry away from where it is right now. So that'll be a symbol of progress to a lot of people, and you're going to see a nice, and I mean nice, spike in the price. Remember I told you that I think USTC is probably headed to like 3 cents short term. We'll get to the charts in just a moment, but we are predicting that it's going to pump. So that's the reason that you would see, and that's a good, very good impetus for positive movement. Now, let's move on to meme coins. All right, so Garuda continues to impress. Garuda value right there up. We're up 8x, 9x right now. So we're having a really good run with Garuda. It's taken a while to get there. I think that, obviously, we will recognize that. It's taken a while to get there, but the point to it being there is we're finally seeing that build out. We're starting to see some good and positive action happening with it. We're also seeing a little bit of lift in the Terra price as well today, and meme. But I think some of that might be because it's attached to hamster meme. And you've got a favorable pairing over there because hamster means down just a little bit more. So that is also possible. But and meth over here, it's the USTC pairing because USTC is pumped so hard. So to see the lunc pairing start to pop is actually a good sign. So if you haven't, then you can come over here to Terraport.finance. Again, Terra is being burned by Terra Casino, so you're gonna see a nice spike in price. This is the opportune time to get in, and you know what I told you the other day was I was gonna take care of all this, and I didn't. All right, so I went ahead and claimed the extra Terra that was sitting there, and I left the stake running, so as you can see, it's just gonna start building up from there. So after the next haul, if you will, then we'll do the same thing, but the APR is still continuing on right here, so we might as well just leave it in for a little bit longer, let it grow a little bit more, grab a few more Terra because it's getting ready to get I think Terra's getting ready for a big move. I think it'll have a nice, maybe 2x, maybe 3x, something like that. Little positive movement in the charts, maybe even more considering where we're going in the market. So let's let it ride. Let's see what happens. All right, guys, if you're not following me on social media, you should follow me on X. It's @BelievesCrypto. January PPI inflation unexpectedly rises to 3.5 above expectations of 3.2. And what does that mean? It means inflation is spiking super hard right now. And you might be asking yourself, why is that happening? Well, I don't think it's anything that President Trump is doing right now. I think the real culprit right now is the egg price because that affects food. And, eggs were about $2.79 at the election, and now they're a little bit over $8 on average, which is a lot. And I don't know that it affects every area, but it affects enough big areas that it is a problem. And, when you're paying $10 for a dozen eggs where you before, by the way, I don't think that's even overpriced when you consider, but, when you're used to paying $2 for it, or $1.50 or something like that, or 99 cents for a dozen eggs, then it gets a little bit, that messes with your budget. So core PPI inflation was 3.6, above the expectation of 3.3. So we've, the U.S. is starting to see some problems. And by the way, it's going to solve itself. I'm sure that it's going to solve itself. It's just taking a little time. And I'm pretty sure that as soon as Donald Trump is done getting himself setting up into position with some of the things that he promised, that we turn to the economy and we do a lot of things. But for the moment, it's not very much you can do because the U.S. government doesn't control the bird flu, which is what's wiping out chickens and causing egg prices. So we're dealing with a sticky inflation problem, but it might be exacerbated by this kind of circumstance. Oil prices, gas prices are still in line. Wish they would come down a little bit more, but they're still in line. Do you know what I mean? So let's see how this plays out. I think this might be an aberration overall. Now, as far as price goes, we're down $70 billion on the day. Now, I told you that I thought we were going to, continue on and start moving. Well, we got to the heart line of this last move, which is basically right in the middle, and we rejected off of it. You can even see it right there. If I were to draw a line would be right here, and that's exactly where it is now. It looks like a dinosaur. Jesus, believes. Anyway, so getting a little bit of a correction. Now the market wants to move on. Here's the thing. Luna Classic is down 3%, where the broader market is down a little bit more. So that means that momentum is still holding with Luna Classic. So in the event that we can get a reversal of this market, which by the way, with inflation kind of spiking up, that's not it's not going to change the market too much, but this will be an opportunity for bears to short it a little bit and to probably wipe out some leverage positions to the downside, somewhere around 90,000 for Bitcoin. This is just a guess, by the way. And by the way, that means that everybody who told you last week, final shakeout, unfollow those idiots. They don't know what they're talking about. But again, we'll say around 90,000, maybe even 88,000 on Bitcoin, maybe even a little bit lower, we could see before the market completely reverses. So, get ready for some downward momentum. However, with that being said, Luna Classic is still holding up very well, so the momentum is still there. So when the market then reverses, and it will, then this is going to continue on, and we'll fill out this chart up here to this upside, probably 3014 or 3015 coming up, depending on how quickly this happens. If it happens like this very aggressively, then in a couple days we'll be at 3015. However, if it takes a longer period of time and we do something like this, is sideways momentum, we will pop up over here, we'll bounce around at 301 for a second, and then pop up here somewhere around 3014, 3013. That's a little bit too far away. I think really what we're going to see is a bigger move. So, but that's really what I think is getting ready to happen, or could be happening if all things play out. So there's your update on that. USTC has not fulfilled its move. It's dumping. Again, the broader market is dumping, but the momentum could still be on our side. This could be just that opportune moment to take profit, because if you really just imagine in the course of the last week or so, your movement here on USTC, 161%. So it's a pretty big gain. That's a really nice run that you just had. So continue out this move though, and get up here to the top of this right here, which is about 3 cents, which I told you at the beginning of this. Finish out that move, and boom, we got a nice little win. Now, again, this is just the start of something. The big breakout would be up here to about 6 cents right now. Now that's, that would give you a good profit margin. That would give you a great opportunity to accumulate if that's what you were looking to do. But the RSI is spiked up pretty high. So if we go a little sideways from where we are right now, consider this. We're going to do this right here, and we'll move right up into the top end of this range, and then maybe even break out. And what we're really looking for is to get above that 7.8 cents over there. Not sure I don't think we have the momentum on USTC for that, but remember that signaling proposal for burning 1.8 billion, that could be the catalyst that does it all. That could be the catalyst that sends this thing into the stratosphere and sends us to 10 cents, 15 cents, 20 cents at a moment's notice. Okay, that really is how this thing could happen. Because remember, then we're going to talk about 290 million. Then we're going to talk about 58 million. We're going to talk about these other two wallets that are going to burn a significant amount of circulating supply. So there is a real possibility that the narrative causes a crazy rush into USTC. And when that starts to happen and people start to see it, quote unquote, repegging, which is what they're going to say in their brain, when we see that repegging, guess what? Luna Classic price, boom, takes off like crazy. That's what I think is going to happen right now. Okay, not long term, but I think that's how the spike is going to happen. So let's move on. Volume is still up, not holding nicely. I still think that this is less. We need 100 million a day, but market cap also up 5% on the 24-hour. USTC, that's coming down. The focus is moving away from that for a short period of time. A little profit taking. That is 161%. Remember, what's the golden ratio? 161%. So we hit a golden ratio from that bottom. So there's going to be some profit taking. But when this comes down, and it will come down when we do the signaling proposal, when that comes down, it's going to be crazy. It's going to be crazy. People are going to notice that. As far as the rest of the market, we've got big burns that have been coming in. Yesterday ended up being 73 million, not bad. Today so far we're at 53,900. But when you look at it from the last 7 days, we haven't had a big movement or impetus. So now it's down to 377. Remember I told you that what we needed is about 1 billion every 7 days, and now we've gone way below that billion. So that is a signal right now that, in my opinion, that the market needs a reversal. We haven't seen this 7-day number this low in a period of time. Now, the other thing is, when we look at it from that context, this is actually not a horrible week. Remember, we were at 250 million for a long time. So even this is still higher than what we've had before. So again, but if you look at these weekly candles right here, see how this one so far this week is 236, 879, 1.6 billion. But when you come over here, remember, 247. And by the way, this week is not completed yet. So, we still got 3 days on it. But 247 million over here, 173 million over here, 239, 247. We had a lot of bad days in a row, or a lot of bad weeks in a row. So this is not atypical. We've had this before, but it did signal a move, an exciting move that got us going back into these big burns, which we've been going through for a little while. So hopefully this is the start of that big reverse. So that's it. That's the show. Thank you so much for tuning in, guys. Look, once this proposal goes through, once we upgrade this 1.8 billion, it's going to get a little bit crazy because it's just the start of some other wallets. And I think Happy Caddy Crypto's on the right path here by issuing these proposals to just burn all these wallets off of the blockchain. But I think what he should do, in my opinion, I'm not sure if it's possible based on the governance proposal, but burn it all at once. Burn 2 proposals. One, to burn any lunc wallet that has been identified as Terraform Labs and create the list. Make sure, obviously, burn everything that's in those wallets. And then the same thing for USTC. Do it all at the same time. Get people excited about the FOMO pump. Let them see the reduction in supply, which would be a big reduction in the supply. When we see that, people will start to question what's going on, and they'll get really excited, and then new buyers will step in. It's the way I think it's going to work. So let me know what you think in the comments down below. And remember, it's not financial advice, but I'm always right.